Hello everybody! This week I was publishing in Instagram a lot of photos with this editing style called Moody Dark. One follower sent me a DM asking me if I can make a tutorial explaining how I edit my photos. So here I am. Intro. Moody Dark is a style of editing that is becoming very popular and gives to your pictures this kind of like a darkness, like dramatic. It's very cool. We're gonna go to Lightroom and I will show you how I edit my photos. But before, I will ask you to go in Instagram and follow me. I will leave you the name over here. Now we go to Lightroom. Okay guys, we have this picture. It's very colorful. It's a simple picture. It's even overexposed in this side, as you can see. But we're gonna turn it into a moody dark, very nice picture. Everything is in the editing. First thing to do, we go to the basic corrections over here. And this style of editing has a lot of things that I do all the time. Every time I want to edit moody dark tone, I start with the exposure. In this case, the exposure is okay in most of the picture. So I'm just gonna go down the exposure, take a little bit of exposure, just a little bit, maybe like there. And then in contrast, I'm gonna add contrast, but just a little bit, because we're gonna do the contrast actually in the curves. This is something that I always do when I started this kind of editing, but put in mind that actually every picture is different. If you took a picture already a little underexposed, you don't need to do the exposure. And then we go to highlights. This is basically what I do in 99% of the moody dark editing. Highlights out completely, 100% out, and shadows all the way up. You can see how it looks now. It looks very nice. And this is something that I do all the time in the moody dark editing. Now we want to add whites, but we have to be very careful with the clipping. So we're gonna go a little bit like in, I think in 15, it's gonna be okay. Still, you can see here that it's trying to clip, but we're gonna fix this exposure here, so don't worry, we'll do it in a bit, okay? And now in this kind of editing, we always try to do contrast in everything. Like I took out highlights, I put the shadows, I add white, so then I can go to the opposite side with the blacks. Not too much, but I think like over there is okay, because this is basically what we want, to add darks, to make our picture very dark. In texture, sometimes I don't add texture, but in this case, because there are a lot of trees, a lot of leaves, I'm going to add texture. Then clarity, I'm gonna take out a little bit, not much of clarity, because at the end in the curves, I'm gonna make this softer. So the curves it is, okay? The haze, I'm gonna add the haze. And I'm gonna go maybe to 14 or something like that. Vibrance, I'm not gonna touch vibrance because I don't want to add many colors. I'm gonna do the colors individually here in the HSL. So saturation, I'm gonna take out a little bit of saturation, but just a little bit. Like I said, I'm gonna play with the colors more here in the HSL. Something I wanna do, because I want the picture to be posted in Instagram, I'm gonna crop it and I go here and I go to 4:5 because this is the best for Instagram. And I'm gonna go, I guess, over here. Now we're done with the basic correction, but just for now, because we can keep coming back as soon as we keep editing, we will understand what we need. And now let's go to the curves. And actually, this is something that I do also in every single moody dark editing. The 3 points, because we wanna do the curve, the S curve. I'm gonna add a little bit of highlights here, and then I'm gonna add the darks, okay? There you go. Now we're creating a contrast. I'm gonna put the point in the middle, the midtones in the middle. And now this is what I was telling you about the clarity, how to soften the picture. We're gonna come here and we're gonna add like this soften, okay? I think it's okay there, but I want a little bit more punch in the blacks. So I'm gonna come here, add another point, and boom, this is punchier. Okay, the picture looks very colorful, but still, we're not done, we're not done. Now we go to the HSL, and here is basically where the magic is going to happen. Reds, we're not gonna touch anything because we don't have reds here, but we're gonna start with hue, okay? Let's do something. Remember, I was telling you to look for the contrast. If I take, I add. If I add from the other side, I take from this side. So orange, we're gonna make it go all the way to yellow, like in 20. Let's leave it there in 28. And now when we go to yellow, we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna go towards the orange. Make it maybe over there. If you will ask why 28, why minus 41, I'm doing everything looking at the picture, more or less how it looks like. So I will suggest you to go and start start editing, start trying with this, because you're gonna learn with practice. Green is gonna be the crazy one. We're gonna exaggerate. Let's go to 40 something. Let's leave it there. It looks not natural. It looks exaggerated. But don't worry, because then when we come with saturation, we're gonna take out the saturation. This is actually a hue that we want. And this is very nice, because then when we take out the saturation, the color is going to be very nice, okay? Aqua, I'm gonna add a little bit of aqua. Maybe like in 30 something. Why am I adding aqua? Is because I love the color of this river. Actually, this is Socha River in Slovenia, and it's very nice. The color of the river is amazing, and I want to keep it like that. I'm going to take out a little bit of saturation, but I'm going to leave it like that's going to be like the main attraction of this picture. Now here, blue, I'm gonna add also a little bit, maybe like there. And now you will understand what is happening. Purple and magenta I'm not gonna touch because we don't have it here. We go to saturation, and now here is where we're gonna start making this picture like the moody color, moody dark that we want. Remember that red we didn't do anything, but orange, let's go and take out the saturation of the orange. It's not much orange, but you have a little bit here, little bit here, little bit here, and it's changing as soon as we take out the saturation. And remember that the orange became yellow when we were doing the hue, and now yellow became orange, and you will see the difference when we're gonna change the yellows here. We're gonna take out also the yellows, and we're gonna exaggerate. Okay, go like in 40 something here. Now you can see that it's changing. Let's add a little bit more of orange. I think I took it off. There you go. But now you can see we're losing yellows. It's not that colorful anymore. And now here, you will see what is gonna happen with the green. Always in the green, because this is maybe like 80% of the picture is green. We're gonna take out a lot of green. Let's make it like 85, or let's make it 81, okay? And look how the picture is becoming now. Now it's moody dark. Now we're getting into it. We're getting into it. Now aqua and blue. We're gonna take just a little bit of aqua. Remember I told you I wanna keep the aqua. And blue maybe a little bit more. And this is what I want, okay, in colors. The thing is that this had also a little bit of green, and that's why the river colors went down when we started to change the greens over here. In luminance, because remember I told you that here, the river, I want it to be like a subject. Let's add a little bit of luminance in the river here and here. So we're gonna have the river more visible. Don't worry that we're gonna fix this overexposed part in a bit. Now we're done with the HSL. And we're gonna go to color grading. In editing, every little detail makes a big difference. Sometimes you do changes that are not like, wow, it's not a big change. It's just very subtle, but these kind of details are making the picture amazing and make you be different from the others, okay? And we're gonna play with highlights and shadows. We're not gonna touch the midtones now, it's just shadows and highlights. And always when I have colors like these in green colors and I wanna do this moody tone, I always go with the shadows to the blue. And I'm taking everything to the blue. And you will say, yeah, but now the picture looks very bluish. No, because we're gonna, remember I told you, it's contrast. You take from one side, you add from the other side. So we're gonna go to highlights and we're gonna add warmness in the highlights. Actually, we're gonna try to do exactly like in the blues, just in the opposite side. And there you go. And if you wanna see how it was before, we can come here, how it was before the color grading. You just click here. It was like this, and now it's like this. And it's better. It's very subtle, but it's better. We're gonna close the color grading. We go into detail, and as you can see, by default, is adding this sharpening. When you add sharpening, it adds noise. So we're gonna help with the noise here a little bit, so we fix these problems, okay? And that's all I'm gonna do in detail. Lens correction, transform, I'm not gonna use them for this kind of editing, but we go to effects, and of course, I'm gonna add a little vignetting, because it gives a very good feeling of moody when we add the vignetting. And I think we're done with the effects. We're not gonna use calibration either, even though we can use it for some parts of the picture, but let's try to make it easier. Sometimes less is more. And now all the editing is done. Where we're missing now is just the corrections in specific places, and for that we're going to use the brushes. In this case, the adjustment brush. We're going to do few of them, okay, to finish the editing. The first brush, I'm going to press O. As soon as I press O, you can see that here it's a check mark. It means we're going to see what are we selecting. We're going to take out this overexposed part. So we're going to mark just the part that is overexposed, all of these, all of these, all of these, a little bit here, but I'm not going to touch the bridge because I want the bridge to be visible. Okay, it's going to be like a subject together with the river. And maybe here a little bit is overexposed. There you go. Maybe here. And I think this is it. We're going to press O so we can see what we're going to do. Highlights out. And now it's helping a little bit. Exposure, we can go out a little bit. We can take out the exposure. Don't exaggerate because look, it goes all black. Just a little bit. And actually, I think we're fixing already the problem that we had with the overexposed part. And now we're going to create another adjustment brush. And for that, we're going to click here in New. And then we have another one. And for this, I'm going to actually go the opposite. I want to mark here. I'm going to press O so you can see what I'm doing. The river, remember I wanted to show the river, so I'm gonna go here. I'm not going in this side because this side is already overexposed. So now we're gonna click O so we can see what are we gonna do. And now we're going to actually add a little bit of highlights and maybe a little bit of exposure to show the river, and maybe here saturation a little bit. And because I want the river to be bluish, I can actually go to temperature and also go towards the blue. And I think this is it. And now we have the picture done, as simple as that. If you press L, you're going to isolate the picture. And if you press L again, you isolate it completely and you can see everything you did. And now look at this. If you press backslash, you will see how the picture was. And now you can see how it is now. Amazing. I hope this video helped you and you know what to do. Subscribe, comment, give me a like. And if you want to support me, I will leave a link in the description where you can actually buy me a coffee. Until next week.